The Mariana Trench is the deepest part of the Earth's oceans, and is located in the western Pacific Ocean east of the Mariana Islands. The trench is about 2,550 kilometers long and up to 69 kilometers wide and reaches a maximum depth of about 11,034 meters. Also known as the Challenger Deep, it was formed by the meeting of two tectonic plates, the Pacific and the Philippine Sea Plate, where the former is slowly being subducted under the latter. This subduction process causes one of the most terrifying phenomena that exists on our planet, a massive 800-meter high tsunami wave with a speed of 700 kilometers per hour that hits the coastal regions of Japan every 100 years or so. But aside from this menace, the Mariana Trench is also home to some of the most amazing creatures that have ever been discovered by humans, including the blobfish, the Japanese spider crab, and the Mariana snailfish. It is also home to the Titanic, which sank in 1911 after hitting an iceberg during its maiden voyage from Southampton to New York City. So what would a trip to the Mariana Trench be like? Let's find out. At first glance, the Mariana Trench doesn't look like much. It's just a big, deep hole in the ocean. But once you start exploring it, you'll soon realize that there is so much more to see down here. The walls of the trench are sheer rock faces that drop off into the darkness. As you descend, you will see all sorts of strange and wonderful creatures that have adapted to life in this extreme environment. One of the first things you'll notice is that the water gets very cold, dark, and the pressure increases dramatically. This is because as you go deeper into the trench, you're effectively putting yourself at the bottom of a huge water column. The weight of all the water above you creates a tremendous amount of pressure, which can be as much as 1,000 times the pressure at sea level. This pressure would crush most objects, but the creatures that live in the Mariana Trench are specially adapted to withstand it. You'll also find that the temperature drops to near freezing, even though the Mariana Trench is located near the equator. This is because sunlight can't penetrate the water at these depths, so it's always pitch black and frigid. Despite these harsh conditions, there is an incredible array of life in the Mariana Trench. One of the most famous inhabitants of the Mariana Trench is the blobfish, also known as the ugliest animal alive. This fish is found at depths of 2,000 to 4,000 meters and has a gelatinous pink body with large, round eyes. Because of the extreme pressure at these depths, the blobfish's body is essentially in a constant state of equilibrium with its surroundings. When it's brought to the surface, however, the pressure differential causes its body to swell up, giving it a grotesque appearance. While the blobfish may not be the most attractive creature in the Mariana Trench, it is certainly one of the most well-adapted. Another amazing creature that can be found in the Mariana Trench is the Japanese spider crab. This crab can grow to enormous proportions, with a leg span of up to 3 meters. They typically live in the upper layers of the ocean, but they often descend into the Mariana Trench to feed on dead animals that fall to the bottom. Spider crabs are scavengers, and they have specially adapted claws that allow them to crush the hard shells of their prey. The Mariana snailfish is another creature that is adapted to life in the Mariana Trench. This fish is found at depths of 2,700 to 3,600 meters, and is the world's deepest living fish. It has a translucent body that allows sunlight to pass through it, and it has huge eyes that help it to navigate the darkness. Aside from these three amazing creatures, there are also all sorts of other animals that can be found in the Mariana Trench, including crustaceans, worms, mollusks, and even sharks. There are even entire ecosystems within the Mariana Trench that are supported by the energy of animals that live in the upper layers of the ocean. For example, there are giant underwater volcanoes in the Mariana Trench that emit sulfur and methane, which support unique communities of microbes. These microbes, in turn, are the basis for the food chain for other larger animals. As you continue your journey down into the Mariana Trench, you'll eventually reach the bottom. It's also known as the Challenger Deep. This is the deepest part of the Mariana Trench, and is 11,034 meters below sea level. At this depth, the pressure is over 1,000 times the pressure at sea level, and the temperature is around 1 degree Celsius. Despite these extreme conditions, there are still some creatures that can be found here, such as single-celled organisms and deep-sea bacteria. If you were to stand at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, you would be surrounded by complete darkness. Even the faintest light wouldn't be able to penetrate this far down into the ocean. You would need a powerful spotlight to see anything. The only sounds you would hear are the creaking of the ocean water and the crunching of the sand beneath your feet. The pressure would be so intense that it would feel like a heavy weight was pressing down on you from all sides. In fact, if you were to try to take a breath, the pressure would make it impossible. You would have to breathe through a special breathing mask that would allow you to breathe underwater. Despite the harsh conditions, there is a strange beauty to the Mariana Trench that is unlike anything you have ever seen before. The silence is deafening, and the darkness is absolute. It is a place where the rules of nature seem to be suspended, and anything is possible. Just imagine the feeling of standing at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, knowing that you are at the deepest part of the ocean, and that there is nothing below you except for the endless abyss. The weight of the water above you would be immense, and the pressure would be enough to crush most objects. But somehow, you would be able to stand there, breathing through your mask, taking in the sight of the strange and wonderful creatures that surround you. It would be an experience that you would never forget. However, despite the wonders that can be found in the Mariana Trench, it is important to remember that it is a fragile ecosystem that should not be disturbed. Humans have only explored a tiny fraction of the Mariana Trench, and we are still discovering new and amazing things about it all the time. It is a place that reminds us of the incredible power and beauty of nature, and it is a place that we should strive to protect for future generations to enjoy. So if you ever have the opportunity to visit the Mariana Trench, don't miss it. It is truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience. However, keep in mind that you will need a specialized submarine to get there, as no human can survive the intense pressure and frigid temperatures of the Mariana Trench without proper equipment. There are several different types of submarines that could be used to explore the Mariana Trench, each with their own advantages and disadvantages. One option would be to use a research submarine such as the Deep Sea Challenger, which was used by filmmaker James Cameron to reach the bottom of the Mariana Trench in 2012. This type of submarine is typically small, able to carry a crew of 3 to 5 people, and is equipped with various scientific instruments to study the environment. Research submarines are usually operated by universities or government agencies, and are designed for scientific research rather than tourism. Another option would be to use a military submarine, which are larger and can carry more people than research submarines. Military submarines are also equipped with advanced technology and are capable of withstanding extreme pressures and temperatures. However, military submarines are obviously not available for public use and are only used for military purposes. A third option would be to use a commercial submarine, which are designed for tourism and underwater exploration. Commercial submarines are typically more comfortable than research submarines, with more space for passengers and amenities such as air conditioning. They're also equipped with viewing ports for passengers to observe the marine life and scenery. However, commercial submarines are less common than research or military submarines, and there are only a few companies that offer submarine tours to places like the Mariana Trench. In addition to the type of submarine, it's also important to consider the route that would be taken to reach the Mariana Trench. The journey to the Mariana Trench would take several hours, and it is important to plan a route that minimizes the risk of danger and maximizes the opportunity to see marine life. The route would also need to take into account the weather conditions and the availability of fuel and other resources. Overall, a trip to the Mariana Trench would be an incredible experience that would allow you to explore one of the most mysterious and fascinating places on Earth. With the right planning and preparation, you could have an amazing journey to the bottom of the ocean and back. Thank you for watching.